black people have a choice. You can either choose to say 400 years of slavery across the Americas, across the world, but specifically in the United States, as we know, slavery was abolished in different places at a bunch of different times. But 400 years here, I'm going to focus only on that, the atrocities, the subjugation, the absolute evil of it. I'm only going to focus on that. Or I'm going to say, okay, now I'm in a different place, season, time, and there's stuff that needs to be dealt with because of that. There's healing that needs to take place. And I'm still going to figure out a way, though, now to not make the best of, but to maximize what I have today. The Adjust Your Lenses podcast is back. And this time, it's a collab between my brother, Donovan, and I. Manna and Adjust Your Lenses presents Daily Bread. See, we've been on a journey, and what we want is for you to come on the journey with us. Get ready, fasten your seatbelts, come break bread with us. So what is the believer's role then? Is it, do we write? Do we talk? Do we speak? Do we march? Do we protest? Do we, what do we do?
I mean, from my perspective, again, not knowing the answers.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it has to start with for myself, it started with me. Let me get in order.
Yeah.
In alignment, not fake order. Let me really do what God wants me to do. Let me figure what, and again, it's not gonna be perfect, but it's a sense of I was reading scripture this weekend, man, looking at 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 20, 21, talks about these vessels that are in the house that are both gold and silver, wood and clay, some for honor, some for dishonor. And he says that if you cleanse the ones that are of dishonor, you'll be a vessel of honor. But the vessel of honor is what? It's the one that is sanctified and useful for the master. And that vessel is now prepared for every good work.
Yeah.
So I think for myself, I had to first get prepared for the good work. No good work yet. Just prepare the vessel. And I think about it this way. If there's a bucket in the house, you in the old school, talking about in Jamaica, that bucket is used to go to the well to get water to bring back. However, if for some reason someone uses that bucket as a urinal, that bucket can no longer be used to go to the well and get water.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's now a bucket of dishonor.
Yep.
It's dirty. So you gotta clean it, sanctify it. Now it can be used again. So I think for us is the first step. Any movement. This is why sometimes you see the movement. It's like, yo, this person is out of order. They out here fornicating, they out here doing all kinds of. You need to sit down and movement within yourself first.
Yeah.
Right? So I think about myself, all right, now I'm a vessel and move into a vessel of honor where God can now use me because the vessel has been prepared. Yeah. Now the next step as a Christian would be chapter 3. 2 Timothy 3, 16, 17. All scripture are inspired by God, right? And are profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, trust, and righteousness.
That's good.
So that the man of God will be complete and thoroughly equipped now. So you were prepared in chapter 2. Chapter 3.
Yeah,
now get the word in you. So now you can be equipped. It's still not the good work though. It's equipped for the good work. So now for myself, get me self-equipped. And I think about myself, again, I'm talking about micro now. I know the macro is, okay, this drama over here, we got to figure out. But if the micro is out of order, though, if you and your household is crazy, y'all ain't doing, you know what I mean? I feel like you gotta, yes, we need that. But if you're, for myself in order, now with my wife, my kid, it has to be. You know what I mean? Because God's not got a disorder of chaos. He's not gonna be all right, you can let chaos over here, but come over here, over here. Nah. Get yourself, and then, but what if we have, now my family's in order. What if we have a few families that are in order? You know what I'm saying? And now, I feel like that has to be for at least how I see it, it has to be from that scale though. Yeah. It can't be from the top down. Even for the scriptures, right? It was always bottom up. He took the people who were the least of and made them into, but it's like it has, because Because ultimately, like, yo, like, if your thing is out of order and you crazy, like, if you're doing, at some point, it's going to spill into it and you're going to mess the whole thing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So from my perspective, I think about, like, how, again, I feel like, just even how, man, like, this is what thing about Paul, like, he's about preparing, equipping, and then at the end, chapter 4, he says, I haven't memorized that joint yet, but in 4 he says, like, now about a deliverance from almost every evil work. How that's the next joint. So, like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about myself, like, yo, like, you gotta, your vessel has to be prepared, though.
Yep.
If your vessel is not prepared, you're in the house. You get salvation.
Yep.
The house is great.
Yeah.
We'll find a spot for you.
Yeah.
It'll be useful. Because that bucket that's a urinal, I'm not using that to drink no water out of.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can't.
Yep.
But once it's useful, though, bet. Let me put you in the rotation of how. So you got 5 buckets going to the well to come back, I'm going to put you as my 6th bucket. Yeah. But until then, nah, you on the shelf, bro.
Yeah.
Right? So it has to be, so for all of us, I mean, whatever you're going to be doing, like, if you're not prepared, though, you're not really in the game. You can't be in the game.
Can't be.
Right? And then once you're prepared, you have to get equipped. The only way to get equipped is to know the word. Yeah. And to even know Christ in this. Because I know we just said this right out loud, but like we know that cats only see Christ. Even think about what you said, bro. You just said out loud, and you implied it, but you know that this is a true implication. Like cats only see the loving Christ. Isaiah, so the next line I'm gonna tell you about. Next line in Isaiah 61. After he says all that, then next line says, "And the day of vengeance of our God is gonna come." That's the next line. So Christ stops before he says that joint, right? But we know why he stopped that joint because I think I had a revelation the other day. I was praying in this room, and I got a revelation like, yo, reason why, because in seminary this is a big deal. It's not really as much a big. It's still a big deal outside the world, but in seminary it's big because there's arguments that some people have argued that they feel like Christ would really save everybody. No matter what. I've heard this in seminary. I said I think the confusion is that because Christ, his first coming was in love, they don't realize his second coming is not going to be. It's going to be vengeance. It's going to be judgment. Judgment is because they say, people say, New Testament God is different. No. We saw one part of the New Testament God. We saw one part of him, but when he come back. What we did, the next line is not going to happen. That's right. And it's going to be judgment. It's going to be, okay, Christ ain't going to be about, yes, he came in love, and he warned, but when he come back, it's not going to be like, oh, I warned you, but it's all good. Just come. No. Who chose? Yeah. And who did it? And that's going to be the vengeance. Like, and you're going to feel the wrath in the Old Testament joint that people, I'm like, that's the real. We only saw one part of the face. Yeah. But when the other face, and then you realize, it is the same God. Yeah. But right now, it's the loving God, so it can't be the same God. Old Testament God. No. Old Testament God's not different. It just hasn't shown the other face yet. Because the Noah joint is he said it so many times, and we even know how he dealt with the Pharisees. Yeah. So he's not gonna come back and just be like, oh, it's all good. I love, you know what I mean? The blue eye joint, the blue eye, soft guy. Nah, bro. He gonna come back with the fire in the eyes. The sword in the mouth. Yes. That's not nice, bro. Yeah. No one, sword in the mouth, I remember even watching the old, like, movies like Cat. Look, that's not nice, bro. Yeah. The sword in his mouth. Yeah. No, I don't want to see that cat. Yeah. If he's not my friend, I'm running. Yeah. But I'm just saying, say what you're saying, like with the I think, so again, you can tell me what you think about it, but I think for myself, it has to be micro going up. Because if you're not in order, at some point, your disorder has to show. Yeah. Your chaos is going to come and it's going to flow into the clean waters. You know what I'm saying? It has to. Yeah. Because you can't hide your long enough. Because you be in the joint. And if you out here wild and you can't do whatever you want, at some point you gonna get tempted by what, like just because you're on the stage, they're gonna come and be like, "What up?" And you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's what I do." You're gonna mess up the whole thing because you're not under control. Yeah, the fruit of the spirit is not a part of your life, right? Yeah. So again, this is like even bigger map. Like, okay, try to make sure that if that is the road, that's where God's gonna send us. Our vessel has to be ready for it.
Yeah.
You gotta be prepared for every good work, equipped for every good work. If not, though, bro, like, I don't know and even for King, you know, I mean, I don't know how these young cats may not know because they don't talk about this joint, but we know King had a lifestyle outside, right? I remember I didn't know about that choice until I got to college, right? You talk about King, and you know, but he had a lifestyle, bro, and it didn't stop him. I don't know. It's a weird picture because I'm like, yo, it didn't slow him down though, and somehow he just still. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, nah, it can't be that. But again, I don't. That's another kind of conversation trying to figure out because he's one of the major people that are pushed forward. But we know that his personal joint, you know, it was stuff going on. You know what I mean? I don't want to say no.
So what I'll say to that is that we've seen God use a donkey in the scripture.
He has a donkey, bro.
You know, he'll use whoever he wants.
Make it work.
He used Samson, even though Samson was on that same tip.
He used Nebuchadnezzar.
He used Nebuchadnezzar. He used Cyrus.
Right. He used
He'll use whoever he wants because he's God.
Yeah.
And that's not to take anything away from King, obviously.
Sure.
But it's more so to say, like, I think God is into flawed people because he wants us to get over the flaws and focus on him. And so those who focus on the parts of King that were not great, that's all they'll see. Those who focus on God's glory and the greater, like, you know what I'm saying? That's all they'll see. And so it's the same thing with the way, to your point, we treat Jesus. If I see Jesus as only fire and brimstone, fire and eyes and sword in the mouth, that's the God that you'll see. If you see him as a God who's like lightning, thunder, don't even touch the mountain, you know, we're back in the Old Testament now, don't touch the mountain, otherwise you're going to consume, that's the only God that you will see. But if I see him as the loving God, if I see him as the Prince of Peace, if I see him as the source of my joy, if I see him as a merciful God, a gracious God, right? That's who I will mostly experience. And so I think we have to understand, and this is where I think the justice part comes in, is that vengeance piece is not vengeance the way we think it. I don't think so. Otherwise, he would have overthrown the Roman government.
Sure.
Justice for him there was to say that even under this subjugation, this rule, a king will rise who will free people for eternity. So I think the practical application of that in our society today is that we have a choice. So I'm just going to say like a blanket statement here. Black people have a choice. You can either choose to say 400 years of slavery across the Americas, across the world, but specifically in the United States, as we know, slavery was abolished in different places at a bunch of different times. But 400 years here, I'm going to focus only on that, the atrocities, the subjugation, the absolute evil of it. I'm only going to focus on that. Or I'm going to say, okay, now I'm in a different place, season, time, and there's stuff that needs to be dealt with because of that. There's healing that needs to take place. And I'm still going to figure out a way, though, now to not make the best of, but to maximize what I have today. So now today, here I am. Those people paid the price. What am I going to do about it? Am I going to let this continue? Or am I going to say, because of that, I'm not going to let this continue? So as a race in America, black people are still very much, in a lot of ways, under subjugation. Because we look across the city, there's this thing that goes around about every MLK Boulevard is the worst area of every city. Every Malcolm X, way is the worst area of worst neighborhood of every city. Why is that? See what I'm saying? And this is why we have to think about that. So we're either going to continue, right, or we're going to do something. So to me, the role of the Christian now, so it's everything you said, but the problem is most people stop there. That's the truth. Most people stop there. So now it's like, and the reason why is because there's a real enemy. But what we don't understand is that the enemy is trying to make us stop there. He wants you to stop at being equipped. Okay, now I'm equipped. Now I know the word. Yeah. I've lived this. I've experienced this. Now I'm reading the Bible, signs, miracles, wonders, feeling sensations, dreams, visions, open visions, the whole nine. Praying and healing happens, all these things. He wants you to stop there. Because if you stop there, then God's name is not exalted and glorified. Because if you stop there, that's just you. It's just you, one person. You're just doing what you do. But that's not Christ's example. Christ didn't stop in the synagogue. He then went out. And he went out and dealt with the woman at the well, who was not a Jew, a Samaritan, and a woman. He didn't condemn the woman who touched the hem of his garment. And not only did she touch the hem of his garment, he's a rabbi. So you can't touch him. And then she had an issue of blood. She's been bleeding for 12 years, which means she's defiled. And he didn't condemn her. He had the right to under the law. The lady who came to him and said, my daughter is demonized. She's vexed with a demon. And he called her a dog. He said, yeah, the dogs, you can't give the kids meat to the dogs. Because she was a Syrophoenician woman, not a Jew. That's the same thing. That would be equivalent of calling you the N-word. And he's like, yeah, nah, but this ain't for you. This ain't for you. N-word. But she was like, yo, I don't care if it's for me. I don't care what you call me. I need this healing, though.
Crumbs off the table, y'all. Eat the crumbs.
I'm going to eat these crumbs.
The master put crumbs on the table.
And that was his test of her to see, are you going to care about the word I call you, about the label that society gives you? Or are you going to get this healing? Are you going to get this deliverance? Are you going to get this freedom? And he keeps doing that over. And that's why I said he came under that colonization for a reason. Because he's like, all right, I'm going to show you that there's more to this. They don't actually have any rule or power over you. The only power they have over you is the power you give them. So this is where I believe like the believer's role in this is to do what Isaiah 61 says. See what I'm saying? And be real about it though, right? Like we can't fake it. We can't be like, yo, no, like you need to let people know, like, yes, we're still dealing with this and this is the way out. Because here's the thing. Once we talk about a lot of things. These things are things that God established for the purpose of our freedom. So, for instance, I'll talk about something real quick. Group economics. Right. Okay, cool. So many people are trying to do group economics, and here's the thing. Because of what you've said, where it got to be bottom up, me personally, then my home, then my family, right? My wife, figuring it out. It's like, we want God to bless it just because we suffered. Bless it, God. We suffered. Didn't you see we suffered? 40 years. Then my great, we were sharecroppers. Like afterwards, civil rights movement. Just bless it, God. We're just like, bless it, God. Bless it, God. God's like, the blessings are available. Get in order. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get in order.
Order is there.
It's there. Get in order. And I promise you, if you get in order,
it's true though. True.
You see what I'm saying? You will see things like, oh my gosh. Do you like the book of Isaiah especially is ridiculous. It says that strangers, kings will come to your rising. Your doors will be open and will remain open forever, like permanently, day and night. It will not close, and kings will continue to bring to you their goods. Their goods. They're like everything. So you won't even have to work for it. Because I know you've suffered. That's the thing. That's his point. I see it. I know it. So it's going to be crazy. The doors will just open. They will just write the laws. The bill will just be passed. It'll just happen. You talk about what's the 400 years, 40 acres and a mule.
Yep.
You right? Yep. Yeah, reparations. Thank you. So talk about reparations. It's like you think God's like, yo, all it takes is one stroke of the pen. Like, I control the kings. That's what he says in Daniel chapter 2. He says, I control the hearts of and minds of kings and princes. Like, I am in charge. I got this crazy Nebuchadnezzar to write a law. You will follow the God of Daniel. Yep. Like, so you think God can't change the minds of these presidents and these rulers? And get them to write a pen and get the Senate to vote on it? Like, all this is nothing. It's nothing. And literally it'll happen. And whether it's reparations, whether it's land, whether it's equity, no matter what it is. And the point is not for one race to ascend over another. That's not the point. But the point is that what you need, you will get. That's it. What you need, you will get. So I think we have to start to help people to understand that what has to happen is that get in order, and then when you get in order, and it's not gonna. This is just me personally. I don't think it's gonna be everybody getting in order all at once, right? I don't think it's that either. I think it's gonna be a few people that God has chosen to get in order, and then when God starts to pour out and people see, they will say, "Oh, right, this is what I need to like. This is what I need to do, right? This is what you know what I'm saying."
And really, in order is not even. When I think about order, though, I think it's so simple. I think the reason why it's important, even when you say about flow people. So yes, there are flow people, but I think what's important, even in the flaw, is the obedience. Yeah. Because ultimately, he's like, yo, I need you to do what I'm telling you that I'm saying to do. If you're not able to do what I'm telling you, it's like, that's the order, though.
Yeah, that's the order.
So if I say to go there and you hear me, but you go the opposite, like, that's out of order.
That's out of order.
Yeah. I can't I'm not like the person that's like willing, like, all right, guys, you say that's who it don't matter. He could be the lowest on. Yeah. Even when I'm telling him, we're gonna walk. We're gonna walk, and we're gonna walk far. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's really, and again, but but knowing his character, there's things that he's like, yo, I need some basic stuff. There's basic things that I need you to do, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, so for me, when I think about order, it's more about, are you able to be obedient? Yeah. Can you do that? Can you hear my voice and do what I say?
Do what I say.
Yeah. You gotta be perfect. But when I talk and you heard me, are you going to do it? Or are you not going to? Like, I feel like that's what he's looking for. Yeah. And I think in that, there's no escaping. Because if his heart, you just said, I think you're completely right. Because in the New Testament, like, it's clear in the Word. Although we don't talk about that, it's clear in the Word that justice is a central component of the gospel. Yes. There's no gospel without the oppression of wrong. Like, it doesn't exist without it, right? So how can you can't talk about Christ and miracles without why are people why are like what the things that are going, like, why are these things even happening? Like, there's something that's going on in space, right? So like Christ is moving in a space where, like, basic self cannot be divorced from the actual good news, right?
That's right.
So like, so I don't know. I feel like
who was Matthew collecting taxes for? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point.
And why they hit the like why, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole so that is a key thing where like if you're moving with him, you can't like the 12. That's not even the disciples. Like that wasn't without Christ. That wasn't per se on their radar. To do right. Yeah. They weren't gonna. But now it's like, okay, I'm following him, so this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you're following God, like it's something like it's gonna again. But again, this is what you just said. People stop there, but the question is like, okay, it's always gonna be, well, are you hearing God to move you forward, or you just like, you know what I'm saying? Like God, I got the house I asked for. I'm chilling now. I'm chilling. Don't touch. You know what I mean?
I'm chilling.
Or you gonna be like, let me. God, what's next?
Yeah.
Where are we going? And like, if it's that, then the journey that he's gonna take you on, man, like it has to traverse these waters. You know what I mean? And really, and sure, and God, I know it's funny. One thing I think about the Bible, bro, is you don't really hear. I mean, I see it in it, but like you don't really. It's not funny. Like there's no comedy in the Bible. Like, there's nothing that's funny in the Bible. But at the same time, there's so much craziness. You be like, God, why you took them? You knew you guys to leave in Egypt. Why you took them to like the Red Sea? Like to me, that's like God's comedy. Or you call irony, or you want to call it like, yo, like, or you know what I mean? It's like, but that for me, like, God was thinking stuff. He's like, yo, God, this don't make no sense what's going on. But to him, like, that's comedy.
That's comedy.
That's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you gotta trust me, like, God, this Red Sea, it ain't moving. Like, how your friends going? We gonna die. We
gonna die. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And how does he do it? What's in your hand? I don't know. Like, what you mean? You asking? That's what you gonna ask me right now? Is what's in my hand? Like, it's like. And these people are about to kill me. Like, they're about to kill me.
Literally, like, so if they don't kill me, the people that just took out gonna kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna die either way. Like, yo, God, what's good?